fear.
What about freedom, sir?
Yeah, freedom.
Why should a person be flogged for having a glass of sherry?
Very good question.
Sir,
Do you want to heckle? Are you going to heckle or are you going to ask a question? So you're saying to me, if you knew this child was going to grow up to be Hitler and kill 6 million Jews, knowing that you still allow him to grow up and kill 6 million Jews? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
If I should join your religion today,
Yes.
yeah, and say I want to be an Islamic
Yes,
person,
a Muslim.
what would be like? What would be my aim?
We'll take another question from you, but let this brother ask his question. We've been waiting a long time.
Would you like to see Sharia, Islamic Sharia, for the whole of the UK?
So can Islam save the world then?
If people adopt Islam properly, as many experts in the past, many non-Muslim experts have said that it would solve the problems that we have in society today. Now let me give you an example. Allah in the Quran in chapter 2 says, in both intoxicants and gambling, Allah explains how the harms outstrip the benefit, and for that reason Allah has made it forbidden for you. How many lives around the world has that one verse saved if it was implemented, if people followed it? Intoxicants and gambling. No alcohol, no drugs, okay, and gambling. How many lives are ruined? You listen to the radio, LBC radio, whatever, okay?
Communists.
You'll have a program about gambling. You feel like crying when you hear the people talking about how they ruin their lives, ruin their families.
What about freedom?
And this is not something that is affecting one person, 10 people, 100 people. You go to Vegas. More money is gambled in Vegas a year than the entire debt of all of the poor countries in the world.
You say you're learned in Islam. Would you say you're very learned?
I wouldn't say I was very learned.
No,
I'm learning.
Are you saying that you're qualified to teach what you're?
I'm not qualified to do anything. I'm only giving information that I know or that I understand. Beyond that, if you ask me a question that I don't know about, I'll say, brother, you need to go to a scholar, a real scholar, not me.
What about freedom, sir?
Yeah, freedom.
Why should a person be flogged for having a glass of sherry?
Very good question. First of all, you're not flogged for having a glass of sherry. You're making stuff up.
No, that's what the Hadith say.
Well, you don't know what you're talking about.
No,
with all due respect, you don't.
I'm afraid I do.
I'll give you an example.
What is the punishment for consuming alcohol?
Okay.
Traditional Islamic.
Before we go into that, I'm going to. No, because you asked two questions there, didn't you? The first one was freedom, right?
Okay.
So let me answer that one first, and then we'll talk about the one that you're interested in, which is the flogging, yes? Okay. So why should we not have freedom to do whatever we want to do? So if we want to have a gamble, we gamble. You asked a question.
Yeah.
Be respectful. Let me answer.
I'll answer my question.
You said freedom. I'm going to talk about
anything. Freedom to drink alcohol.
You said freedom, and I'm going to talk about freedom, right? So, with all due respect, you
can't.
In between my answer, you want to. In between the answer, you want to keep moving the goalposts.
No, I'm going to stick to the point.
You said freedom, so I'm talking about freedom.
Freedom to drink alcohol.
So relax, okay? Okay. So now,
freedom to drink alcohol.
the freedom to drink alcohol. The freedom to drink. Brother, 1 second. Freedom to drink alcohol. Freedom to gamble. Freedom to do whatever I want to do. Brother,
Within reason.
you drinking alcohol,
Yeah.
driving your car and killing my child, does that affect
That's
me?
illegal.
It is illegal, you're right. But did you know, even when you're below the legal limit, your driving would be impaired?
Of course, yeah.
It would be, right?
Yeah.
But it would still be legal.
It would be legal.
You could kill my child. Hold on a second. Now, you kill my child.
Yeah.
Am I right to now feel that you've now really affected me because of your alcohol drinking, yes?
Of course.
Yes. Now, in Islam...
You'd be right to feel
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
I didn't ask about the freedom to drink and drive.
Just
I asked about
relax.
the freedom to drink.
Yeah, but there's an implication to drinking.
That we drive? No.
There are
implication that you could drink.
when you have
Kill a
alcohol
child.
open in a society, go to any accident and emergency on a Friday or Saturday night, and that will tell you whether alcohol is a good thing or a bad thing
Too much
in society.
freedom to drink.
Right, but the problem, the point here is this: who knows his creatures better than the God Almighty? So God knows when you're stressed, you might drink a bit more. Right? When your girlfriend leaves you, you might drink a little bit more. You might become an alcoholic. We have a lot of alcoholics in England. More than 100,000 families children living in a family where one parent or both are alcoholics.
White people.
100,000. Well, white, black, it doesn't matter.
You can't just mix. You can't just mix cultures like that.
Now,
bro.
what does Islam do?
Just mix cultures.
What does Islam do?
Yeah, everyone have different.
Allah tells you that I know
I
you
don't
better
do
than
like
you
that.
know yourself.
My culture.
You can't handle this. If you stay away from it, there is a great reward.
There's a culture.
And if you do it, yes, there is a punishment. And it's for your own benefit. It's for your own good.
You don't agree.
So now, let's talk about your flogging. In Islam,
Having a drink. You haven't talked about drinking. You've talked about drinking and driving. You've talked about alcohol.
Sir, just relax. I'm getting to your point.
You have never talked about why people shouldn't be allowed alcohol.
Okay, hold on a second. Brother, 1 second. Brother, 1 second.
Do you think drinking alcohol is a good thing?
Hold on a second.
I can't hear you.
Okay. Why should people be flogged if they drink alcohol?
Forget the flogging. Forget the flogging. Deal with the
In
alcohol.
an Islamic society, this is the beauty about Islam. Brother, just 1 second. This is the beauty about Islam. What you do in your closed doors, the Sharia does not apply. Nobody can come into your house.
Bit of wife beating,
Hold on a
bit of
second.
child killing, that's it.
Okay, absolutely ignorant, crazy arguments that you're raising.
You said what happened behind closed doors.
You spoke about alcohol and being flogged. I'm answering your question. Please don't now spiral down into stupidity. Now, I'm talking about what I'm talking about relating to your question. So be patient. Brother, we can't have two conversations going on at the same time. Well, take him to one side then, because you're right in my ear. Okay, now, in Islam, what you do in your house, in closed doors, whether you're a homosexual, whether you're a drunk, whether you're snorting cocaine, whether you're snorting... Okay, now he's saying you could be a child killer as a Muslim in your closed door. Does anyone here who's a Muslim, do you agree that you can be a child killer in your closed doors? Okay, so let's not get silly.
What about Al-Qidra? Al-Qidra not a child
Do you
killer?
want to heckle or do you want to have an answer? Do you want to heckle? Do you want to heckle? No, don't take the bait. Do you want to heckle? Are you going to heckle or are you going to ask a question? Are you going to heckle? No, don't.
It's a good question.
Are you going to heckle or are you going to ask a question?
Would you kill a young Hitler?
Do you want to heckle or answer a question?
Would you kill a young Hitler? If you knew Hitler as a child and you knew what he was going to go and
You're a young
do,
Hitler.
would you kill him?
You're a young Hitler.
No.
No, you don't kill a child.
So you'd allow Hitler to grow up to kill millions and millions of
I
Jews?
understand.
You don't kill a child.
So you allow him to grow up and kill millions of Jews, women and children?
It's not about allowing.
It is allowed. It is about allowing. If you knew Hitler was going to grow up and kill 6 million Jews, and you seen him as a child, and you know if you killed him, those 6 million Jews wouldn't be killed, would you kill him?
You don't punish somebody before they do the crime.
Right. So you'd allow him to kill 6 million Jews?
I didn't say allow it. No, I wouldn't.
Well, you could stop it.
In fact, there were plenty of Muslims in the
No, but you
SS
could stop
armies.
it.
There was a
No.
liberal
You knew.
democratic countries that went to the
No.
did stop
You
it.
knew.
Wasn't any
You
Muslim
knew this
nation.
child was going to grow up to be Hitler.
No, you will stop.
If you knew this child-
you'll deal with bad behaviour when it happens. You don't kill a child.
So I'll say it again to you.
What the child will
So
do
just so I
when it
understand the
grows up.
principle. Look, if you want to admit this, it's not a problem. So you're saying to me, if you knew this child was going to grow up to be Hitler and kill 6 million Jews, knowing that you still allow him to grow up and kill 6 million Jews,
I wouldn't-
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah. That's fine.
Then
Then we understand the principles
You
then.
would happily kill
Okay,
a child.
If I knew he was going to kill 6 million Jews, yes.
It's about
You'd be a child
justice,
killer.
sir. It's about
If I knew for a fact he was going to kill 6 million
Justice.
Jews,
You punish people for what they've done, not for what you think they
but I know
might
he's
do.
going to kill 6 million Jews.
I've got a question then. Yeah? So,
For a fact.
Okay, if I can go back to the question that you asked.
why did God do
Why
that?
did God do
Brother,
what?
1
Because like
second.
God knew
Exactly.
that.
Why did God do what?
I'm just 1 second.
Like your question was that if you knew.
If he knew.
Okay, so if he knew that this particular child was going to end up killing 6 million Jews, right? Then would he kill that particular child,
Yes.
right? So your answer was yes, his answer was no. But my question to you was, but God knows that Hitler will kill those 6 million
Right.
Jews. So why didn't God kill that?
Listen, why didn't want to descend into this ridiculous
Okay,
argument?
first thing, that would interfere on free will, innit, obviously. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, your question was...
God,
I don't know what you're trying to smuggle that he says in the book. Free will is free will, innit?
About people.
I'm going to ask you a simple question, right? Do you just want to heckle or you want to actually learn something?
I want you to actually answer a point.
you're
not
not
just
on
change the
answer.
No,
topic.
but I can't answer the point if you then talk about child killing in
It
private.
started,
Hold on a second.
It started by
Hold on a
saying,
should
should I be allowed
Can you
to
just let me
feed
talk?
them? Well, I've asked him more about
No,
point.
can you just let me talk?
The original
can
point.
you just let me finish
I'll
what I was
remind
saying?
you what the original point is, and then
Do you mind
answer
not
it.
interrupting?
Should I be allowed
Can I
to
just
drink
finish
a
my
glass
point?
of
Can I
sherry
just
in a
finish my
pub?
point? Can I just finish my
Should I be
point?
allowed to drink a glass
Can I
of
just
sherry in
finish
a
my
pub?
point? Are you going to let me talk? Okay.
Eventually get round to the answer.
I was answering your question, but if you start saying silly things like Muslims are allowed to kill children
Within the privacy of their own home.
behind locked doors, then I'm well within my right to say stop being silly, right?
But you were the one who said it.
I'm well within my right to say that,
You're
right?
the person who said it.
So you asked the question about drinking and why you're flogged, right? So I'm giving you the answer, right?
what's the answer?
Okay, so in Islam, when you do something in private and it affects you only,
And your wife and
the
kids.
consequence. See, now there you go.
Well,
you can't help yourself.
Can I
can
just
you?
shut up when he's talking?
You just can't help yourself.
Okay,
You can't help yourself, right?
Okay, well, that
so
was behind closed
if
doors.
you do something behind closed doors that only
Behind closed
affects
doors.
you
Sounds great.
as an individual, right? The Sharia has no right to spy on you and to take any action upon you, right? The laws of Islam, right? However, if you do an act in public that now has a consequence on society, then yes, the Sharia does apply on you, and the punishments can be quite severe. Yes, because
You're proud of that.
absolutely.
why
Because
not?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because if you drink and you drive and you kill somebody, I think that's a lot worse than getting flogged. Quite frankly.
No, but if I'm sat in a pub having a glass of sherry, I'm not going to.
Do you think it's okay to break? Okay, do you think it's okay to break the law of a land?
Well, no, it's not breaking the law.
No, if it was the law, would you think it's okay to
Anyway,
break
we're not
it?
talking about law,
No,
we're
well, we
talking
are.
about morality.
No, we're talking about reality here. So if you're in a country that alcohol's forbidden, yeah,
We're not saying
do
Sharia.
you say you should be free to break the law? 1 second.
No.
It would be nice if
Should you be
guys
free to break the law?
It's a long question.
We're not asking.
No, it's a question. If you're in a country,
It's a non-question. You can't be
no, it's a question. If you're in a country that,
You're never allowed. It's a non-question.
I'll tell you why it is a question.
You're never allowed to break the law.
Well, I'll tell you why
because
it's
the law is one
right.
way
But would
you're
you
not
think it's
allowed to
okay
do
to break the
it.
law?
Makes sense.
So if you're in a
That makes
country,
sense.
if you're in a country that says you can't drink alcohol and you drink alcohol, are you breaking the law?
Yeah.
Right. And if that law says you're going to be flogged if you do that, would you drink alcohol?
Well, it doesn't matter whether I would or wouldn't do. The question about
those
what
laws would-
Would you?
Is it immoral to drink alcohol?
Would you? Would you? If you're in a country you can't drink alcohol and the law says if you drink alcohol you're going to be whipped in the street, would you drink alcohol?
I really don't know. It's a hypothetical case.
Yeah. So answer the hypothetical
If
case.
I thought I could get away with it, yes.
Yes, and then even if you thought that the risk in getting flogged, you'd still do it.
Well, depends how much I fancy to drink.
So you think it's okay to break the law of the land? So you think it's okay to break the law?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
Would you not?
So you're happy to be a criminal? So he's a criminal?
Law is law.
I like
morality
this
is
brother because his
morality.
questions are quite
Different things.
nice.
Yeah, well, I want to ask a question.
Okay, why didn't you ask a question? What's
Yeah, I
your
want to
question?
ask you.
Go on.
Like,
Let's give me a question for.
yeah, so Islam, for me to become an Islamic, how would that benefit me?
Okay, so you become a Muslim, you take guidance from the one who created everything into your life, so you'll be able to obtain objective morality and a guidance to live your life by.
That's the answer?
And yes, and at the same time, when you die, inshallah, your soul will go to a good place.
And it also gives you a good life because
So my ancestors that didn't follow this religion, where
I'm
did
going
their
to
soul
bring
now?
camera forward.
I don't know what they believed. What
You can ask anything.
Bro, you can't answer these questions. And you're,
do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I can't
See
answer.
what I mean? I'm asking you a question.
How do I know what your ancestors did or not? How do I know that? I don't know what your
What
ancestors
does your
did.
ancestor did?
I have no idea.
We all know. Do
we?
We study history.
I don't
How
know.
can you
Oh,
teach
okay.
Islam if
Did the
you don't
message
know?
of Islam come to your ancestors?
We mean
Did the message of Islam come to your ancestors?
probably did,
Did it?
but it came long after the.
Did it
Bible.
come to them?
Came long after the.
Did it come to them?
Probably did with force.
No, did it come to them? Did they hear the message of Islam in a manner they understood
Why are you speaking
it?
to me like this? Is it
That's how I
because-
speak.
Because I'm not Islam.
No.
So why? That's
That's how I speak to people. Yeah, speak to everyone that way. I speak to everyone that way.
Trust me.
Spoke to him that way.
Trust me.
I speak to everyone that way.
Trust me, I tell you what.
But he speaks nicer than you.
No, but the question I'm asking is because you guys are teaching.
I'll make it easy.
You guys are teaching something, and you guys are recruiting others from different ethnic.
We're not
Ethnic.
recruiting, brother.
Ethnic.
What we're doing.
Ethnic.
What we're doing.
Ethnic.
Is ethnicity not a word?
Do you think we're focused on people's ethnicity?
No, I'm not saying you focus on it. I'm saying that, but you said everyone can come.
Everyone's equal in
So if
Islam.
everyone is equal, why can't I ask equal questions?
You can.
But when I do, it's like it's being shunned.
I asked you a question.
What-
Ask me the question again.
What
What's going to happen to your ancestors?
What would your religion be of benefit to me? What's the end game? What's the end product?
Oh, okay. I just told you.
If you're selling me something, then I
What was
need
my answer? I'll just give you the answer. What's my answer?
What's your answer?
I'll give you the answer. What's my...
Guidance from the one that created you.
Yeah.
Who is the one that created me?
The one who created everything. There's only one creator.
The one creator.
Yeah.
So why is religion important then?
Because that's how you connect to the one creator.
Why
No.
is your religion more important than Christianity?
Because Christianity's false.
So you are saying?
So the guidance.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Well, I might agree.
Yes.
Might agree.
That brother
If
wants
we're
to
having
ask
2 minutes dialogue, you can't just jump. You have a minute with me and then have a
I'm
minute
having
with
dialogue
someone
with you, no
else.
problem.
But he's pinpointing something somewhere else.
No, the cameraman. Don't worry.
Okay, leave it here.
The mic.
Obviously, I've seen a lot of my people in your religion, and I question.
Who's your people?
Like people of my ethnic
What
background.
ethnic background is that?
Okay.
African.
Or just African?
Just well.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to be specific?
Yeah.
The art should be.
Yeah, where you from?
So you're gonna answer me specific questions then?
I've answered everything you've asked
What
me.
is if I should join your religion today?
Yes.
Yeah, and say I want to be an Islamic
Yes.
person.
Muslim.
What would be like? What would be my aim? What would I be achieving other than
I'll tell you what you're achieving.
from the Quran?
I'll tell you what you'll be achieving. You'll
Not
be
from your mouth, from the Quran.
Oh, okay. You'll be achieving. You'll be connecting your soul to its creator.
But my soul is being connected to my creator already.
There's only one creator. How do you know that? Why do you believe that?
How do you know your
No,
soul?
you made the claim. Why do you believe that?
Because of my ancestors' belief.
So, well, then why is that belief true?
I'm not saying it's true, I'm
You
not
are.
saying it's false, but why, if you're teaching something and you're bringing in other ethnicities,
I'm teaching something that's true,
No, but
though.
in simple,
you're saying
in
it's-
simple terms, it gives you the correct way of connecting to the Creator, because there are incorrect ways to connect
What's
as well.
the name of the
let me
Creator?
explain that to you, please.
Allah.
Let me explain that to you. So people sometimes connect to the Creator via a tree, right, or a rock, or something they fashion with their own hands. This is not acceptable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So it gives you the correct way to connect to the Creator. That's the first thing. Secondly, the guidance gives you the best possible life that you can have in this world. It protects you from the harms in society. It gives you the best sort of life that you can have, and it gives you the best death
I
you can
don't
have.
disagree with.
Okay.
Can I say? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
disagree with your religion. I don't disagree with anything that you guys teach. But my understanding is, why should I join your
I just
religion?
So you
explain
can
it to
you can benefit from that guidance.
From that guidance.
So it's a guidance.
Yes.
From the Creator.
But every other religion, it says similarities between religions.
There are some similarities, yes.
Because there's only one God, you see, and God sent messengers to mankind.
We'll take another question from you, but let this brother ask his question. We've been waiting a long time.
Would you like to see Sharia, Islamic Sharia, for the whole of the UK?
No, because as Muslims, we can't impose Sharia on non-Muslims. You see, this is a misconception in the West. Now, I know that there are some people who shout and scream
See,
that
that's
we
a
want
good question.
Sharia on
That's-
you, but Islam, if you look at the code in Mecca and Medina in the Middle East, the Jews were allowed to have their own code. They operated
It's called
under
the
their
Torah.
laws.
It's called the Torah.
Yeah, they had their own
They
code.
they
It's called the
operated under the Torah.
Torah, yeah.
Islamic Sharia only applied on things like, for example, murder. So if a Jew killed somebody,
shake it up
then
on
the
that?
government, the national government would step in.
Okay.
Okay, but on matters like, for example, what constitutes a marriage, what constitutes a divorce, what are the laws of inheritance, what are the laws for this, what are the laws for that, the Jews were allowed to have their laws. The Christians, under Muslim control, were allowed to have their codes. The churches had their services, the synagogues had their services. But as a Muslim, I cannot impose the Sharia that applies upon Muslims and apply it upon a non-Muslim and force you to abide by the Sharia.
Okay.
Now, however, so if you live in a Muslim country, for example, right, and you want to drink alcohol, as a Muslim, I can't stop you. Even the government can't stop you, because alcohol, according to your Sharia, means that you can consume it. What I can do is say you can't do it in public. You do it in private.
What would be the circumstance?
You do it in private. Why? Because your action should not have any impact upon the community as a whole.
What would be the
Okay,
circumstance?
so if you're drinking alcohol in public now is encouraging others to do so, or you're drink driving, or you're getting into arguments or brawls in the restaurant because you've had one too many, we've all seen it,
What would be
right?
the punishment?
Islam never causes the argument.
That is now a problem.
No.
Not only for
That's a
you,
serious question.
but it's a
serious
problem.
answer.
Because
So
he
if you
said-
go to Dubai,
Hold on, I
you go
wanna-
to a supermarket in
his
Dubai,
answers are so
they
long.
have a bacon corner. The non-Muslims can go into the, they can go into the little pork sausages, and they go and get their, pork scratchings and whatever you guys like to eat, right? Muslims generally won't go into those places.
Does that law apply to
Right.
Muslims in this country?
What do you mean? In what
Sharia
sense?
law.
Yeah, so a Muslim, hold on a second.
It's a simple question,
Very good
but-
question,
yeah,
very good
but-
question. So a Muslim has to, first of all, abide by the laws of the land.
Yes.
If the laws of the land take me away from my Sharia, which is what? I have to pray 5 times a day, and the government says from tomorrow we're banning all Muslims, you can't pray in this country. Then obviously I would pray in my house. If now the Gestapo is coming into my house and they're saying, right, we saw you praying in your house, we want you to get out or you stop praying, I will leave this country. I will do hijrah. I'll go to another land where I can practice my religion.
So-
okay, but I will not impose my religion on you as a non-Muslim.
No, but you're not
because
imposing.
it doesn't apply.
You're
to
not
you.
imposing. If I freely accept your religion in this country,
Yes.
would that law apply to me? Differently. I'm
So-
not talking
No,
about
very much
the
so.
law of the land. I'm
Yeah,
talking
mate.
about being in the religion.
Okay,
It's a serious
very,
question.
very good question. Alhamdulillah, as Muslims,
Sorry, bro.
none of the Sharia we find as a direct contradiction to British law, for example. I can be a Muslim in this country and follow the Sharia,
But that's not.
and
the
I can
question
abide
asked.
by the British law. I'm just explaining that to you. So the Sharia
What's
does
the
apply to
question
me. So the Sharia does apply to me, yes.
I think I have free will if I want to join Islam, right?
So you could
If I wanna
stone
join
gays in this
Muslim.
country?
Sorry?
Say it again.
You could stone gays.
It's a
No.
free will. It's a
No,
free
no,
will
you
if I want to
misunderstand
join.
the point.
Right?
Yes.
It's
The
a free
point
will.
is, brother,
See,
the
you
point.
haven't-
No, but he's asking about the Sharia that you explained.
No,
right?
let me just hear what you just said.
He
then,
just
though.
said, does that mean you can stone gays in this
No,
country?
no, I know what he said,
But
but-
the point is
Come on,
absolutely
come on.
not. Why?
No.
Because, first of all, as an individual, as a Muslim, you can't just go out and start doing things because the Sharia doesn't permit you to do certain things. I can't now go in, even in a Muslim country, I can't just say, oh, look, you're walking a bit funny, mate. You look a bit gay to me, right? I'm gonna basically, beat you up or whatever. I can't do that. I would be arrested. I would be the one ending up in jail because I have no right to do that.
So in 60 years,
In
when this
Islam,
is, when this is an
it's a
Islamic
very good
country,
question, brother. But in Islam,
and everyone here is a Muslim,
Yes.
right, and permeated government,
yes,
so Sharia is a part of this country.
yes.
Is that likely to become part of Sharia law in this country that everyone need to abide by?
Yes, but what does the Sharia say? The Sharia doesn't say anything.
Give us 100 years to
doesn't
beat out
say-
the
no,
liberals.
Doesn't say any different to what British law says. Does British law allow sodomy in public?
I don't know, I'm not a Brit. I
Oh,
don't know the answer to
where
that.
do you come from?
Australia.
Australia?
Australia.
Do they allow sodomy in public in Australia, or is it
Yeah,
illegal?
sodomy, sex in public. The standard sex.
Talking about religion, bro.
Is
And
it
you
illegal?
You
What
have
happens?
answered the question.
No.
You're dancing around the question.
I'm saying, is it illegal in public, in a public place, in a park? If two people started doing sodomy here, would it be considered to be vulgar?
There's
And
must
and
in
would
this
it
country.
would it be arrestable offence?
And there's laws. There's
Likely
must-
arrestable, but unlikely to be arrested.
No, you have
There
to
is
understand.
must-
You have to
So it's
understand-
illegal.
I want him to answer.
No, I'm
the
answering.
question.
I know you want him
but-
to answer because
but
you like
let him-
sugar coating,
No,
sweet
yeah,
answers.
yeah. I want you to
I just give
me
you the
direct
pat
answer.
answers.
So there's lots of mosques in this country.
Yes.
Let you ask, John.
So Sharia law implies for the Muslim.
What do you mean by
community,
Sharia law?
The laws that you imply.
Which ones?
Your laws are not the same as the law.
No, which Sharia law? Which one are you referring to?
I don't know the laws.
Okay, so
you're asking me. as if-
okay. Do Muslims in this country have control over crime and punishment? No.
No, that's not my
Right,
question.
right. So forget that.
I'm saying
So
within
one
the
second.
religion.
So once we say that, once we
within
say
the religion.
once we say
within the religion.
But listen.
Within the religion.
Okay, yes.
How would I be judged as a Muslim in this country if I do not apply the law? If I said
Apply
I'm a
what law?
Muslim,
Yeah.
and you see me doing something
Do it like what?
like anything that is not
Give me an example.
no, you give me an example.
Well, you're saying you're doing this thing.
Like I'm praying.
I wanna know what you're up to.
Like 5
What are you doing?
Like praying 5 times a day.
Right. So you're not going to pray.
No, I'm saying I'm not a Muslim.
No, you said if you become a Muslim.
But I'm asking
and
you
then-
about your religion.
No, you said if
Well,
I
you're
became
questioning me as if I know.
I'll tell you why. Because
Why?
I'm retorting to what you said. So you said if I became a Muslim
Yeah.
and I didn't do the laws, what would happen to me? That's what you said.
Yeah, I'm saying what would happen.
Right. So
Yeah,
can I repeat your question?
Yeah.
Abbas.
You said if you became a Muslim and you didn't do some particular law,
Like
what would
any-
happen to you?
like I break any one of the
So
Sharia
give me an
laws.
example of this law that you're thinking about that
I
you're going
don't know
to do.
your
Break.
laws. I don't know
He doesn't
your
know any of the
laws.
laws.
Right.
If I don't know
Okay.
your laws, how
You
can
became
I
a
break
Muslim.
the laws?
You became a Muslim and you say, I'm not praying. So what?
Nobody's going to ask you anything.
You become a Muslim and you become a Muslim.
Nobody's going to.
Let me
Can
one
I
second.
still be a Muslim if I don't pray
Well,
five
the
times?
scholars say that the thing that makes a person a Muslim is the one who submits to the will of the Creator. So one of the most important things after the belief in God Almighty is the 5 times prayer. And what the scholars say is what differentiates a true believer from one that doesn't really believe is the one who prays. Now, the point here
think this
is
old man's gonna say that.
nobody's watching you.
But if
You'll
there's a law,
find
there's a law, you have to abide by it.
No, but the law doesn't say that if you're not praying,
I just use it as an
the law doesn't say
Let me make it
that if
easier.
you're not praying, somebody has to then punish you for not praying.
You become Muslim, right? And then you start skinning up, yeah? And you get a bottle of whiskey out, yeah? Nothing's going to happen to you. Nothing. Yeah? It's between you and your creator. Ooh.
Not for me, Bob. Sugar.
So there's a law of the land.
Right, so law of the land is standard.
Yeah, standard.
Okay.
And
The
then-
Sharia law doesn't apply to us Muslims in the sense of crime and punishment and stuff like that. Sharia law, basically, the rights of my wife, for example, the rights of society, the rights of the neighbour. This is
I
what?
think this.
So, for
this
example,
kind
you know
of
Sharia courts. You know Sharia
conversation-
courts?
I think these kind of conversations are very healthy, but it should be done in a way where I don't feel like I can't ask normal.
You can ask.
You can actually like.
Nobody-
But listen.
But-
I'm going to give you a statistic, right? There was a thing, you know, Sharia courts. More non-Muslims now are going to Sharia courts to solve their disputes. You know, work disputes, business disputes, contracts. Because the courts, English courts, don't care about that stuff. But Sharia courts deal with that stuff. And so literally you've got non-Muslims
You got
using
court,
Sharia
you got
courts.
court, You got a court.
It's actually not really a court as such because it's
Well,
not.
it is.
It's not legally.
He used the word court.
Okay, the
so
word
why
court.
you saying it's not a court as such?
A word court
the
is where
point-
two people go to accept the arbitration of a judge.
That's-
Yeah,
yes.
and that's because you step out the line. Because if you was walking in line, you would need to be
It
in
could be
the
a
court.
decision. No, it doesn't work.
When we
Could this
say-
be a dispute?
When we say court, we're simply saying a scholar will hear both sides of the story. And
A scholar from
I'm looking forward to your question.
Islamic. right?
You look like you got a
And-
heavy
and
question,
the scholar
man.
will basically,
Years of wisdom building it up.
the scholar will judge
Honestly.
using the
I
Islamic
feel I want to do a drum roll for your
teachings
question.
to judge.
I feel I want to do a
between
drum roll for your question.
So you're being imprisoned by the Sharia law if you become a Muslim.
No, brother. The point here is this: like, so for example, let's say I get married, yes, and now let's say I've done something my wife is upset with, yeah. She said, "Oh, you promised me you're not going to get married again, yes, and now you've broken the promise, and you've stop getting nervous, brothers. It's just an analogy, yeah." And then she says, "Look, you've broken your word, you've broken your promise. Now you want to go and marry another woman, right?"
Just look at this for a headline in The Guardian. A headline in The Guardian. Fears over non-Muslims' use of Islamic law to resolve disputes.
Okay. Now,
Fear over non-Muslims' use of Islamic law
I didn't know
to
that.
resolve their disputes. It's in The Guardian.
So now my wife goes, okay, you know what? In this country, it's illegal to marry more than one woman, right? But I'm telling her, look, I'm being clever. I'm going to go to, maybe, I don't know, Jordan. Or I'm going to go to Africa
I've got my
somewhere,
glasses on for this
and
one.
I'm going to marry somebody there. Now, the British law can't apply there, right? Okay, she can now say, okay, I'm going to go to the Sharia court right here. And she could tell the scholar.
There's one here.
Yeah, it's more of an informal place. It's not like a court.
At the mosque.
It could be a mosque, it could be a centre. It's not important. It could be a mosque, it could be a centre.
It's important
It could be
because
an
I don't know.
It could be anything. It could be an office or whatever, right? So my wife could then say, he gave, in my marriage contract, he had specified that he's not going to do this. The scholar will say, I have to stick to my word. I can't go back on my word. If that was stipulated in the contract and I had agreed to it, he will insist that you have to abide by what you gave a comment.
I ask
you understand?
enough, I ask enough questions.
Let the brother here ask her. What's your name, brother?
Ken.
Ken. Abbas. Nice to meet you.
Hamza, Ken's asking you a
Nice to meet you,
question.
Ken.
Well, I regularly visit mosques who are interfaith work, committed Christian, but I'm fully aware that Islam and Christianity come from the same Abrahamic root. My question is about what is happening in Afghanistan at present with the Taliban. Well, it seemed to be, well, the old Taliban of 20 years ago, the policy to be completely conflict with Muslim beliefs.
You can't take all this.
Of respect for peace, of not killing. What do you think of what's happening in Afghanistan?
First of all, what is happening in Afghanistan is more of a political issue than anything else, right? This is not a religious issue as such. Now, if the Taliban are unjust, then I would speak out against them. Whatever injustices they've done, I would speak out against them. My first cousin was bombed and killed in Pakistan about 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, by suspected Taliban. They don't know, okay? He was an airline pilot. He went into a hotel and a truck came into the hotel and he died. Okay? Now, if they did do that, I would condemn that because Islam condemns it. If they didn't do it, I'm not going to condemn them for that because that would be unjust, right? But what's happening in Afghanistan is more of a political issue. What concerns me, being a Brit, what the hell were we doing there for the last 20 years? Why did we destabilize a country to the extent? If Osama bin Laden definitely did bomb the Twin Towers, then it would have been quite right for them to have gone and bombed Osama bin Laden. If he had a bunch of guys that helped him, it would have been within their rights to have gone and bombed those guys. Why go and destroy a whole country? Because they don't let the women go to school. Okay, it's wrong if they do that. But does that mean that they deserve to die? Does that mean they deserve to be bombed? You understand my point? The point here is that in the West, we have a very mixed up way of righteousness. We're the good guys. Hey, but guess what? We kill more people than the terrorists kill. How are we the good guys? You know, Iraq, Saddam Hussein is a bad man. He killed 30,000 Kurds. He gassed them. If he did do that, horrendous, horrible thing to do. We went and killed 1 million Iraqis. And we're the good guys. We stole their oil. And we're the good guys. We want $1 trillion of mineral reserves, lithium, from Afghanistan. And we're the good guys. How are we the good guys? I'm not saying there are not bad people who've done bad things in some of those countries. They are bad, very bad. But how are we the good guys? When our intentions of going in, we're telling our soldiers and their families that you're saving people. And in reality, what we're doing is we're destroying entire nations. That's the problem. And this is why in Islam, Allah says that He will judge you, your actions, by your intentions. So if you go into a foreign land to liberate the people, truly liberate the people, and create peace, to take away mischief, then it's a noble action. And the same action, if you go to have those oil lines connected from Russia, right, down to the sea, so you can fill your ships with oil and steal the mineral resources of Afghanistan, then the same action of war becomes an evil action. We will judge you by your intention. Your actions will be judged by your intentions. And unfortunately, our intentions in the West, in particular America and Britain, our country here, have not been noble intentions.
Oh no, right.
We've told the people that we're there to cause peace. And what does Allah say? That they tell the people that we are the peace lovers, peacemakers, yet they are the corrupters. They are the evildoers. Allah says this in the Quran, that the people they preach that we only want to make peace, but they're the real corruptors.
Blair went into Iraq on a lie.
Absolutely.
But the people of Afghanistan, particularly the women, seem terrified. They're just trying to flee.
What we're seeing in Afghanistan is two things. We're seeing some people possibly who are genuinely scared of what the Taliban were 20 years ago and possibly might be today.
Yeah.
And then there's an awful lot of people who are going to use this upheaval to try to find their way into the West, because that's what they always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So when everyone realizes that there's a train or a plane coming to the West, they've been trying to come in for the last 20, 30 years. Now's your opportunity. Jump on there as much as you can. Get on there as fast as you can to get into the West. So there's two types of people. I don't deny that the Taliban historically have been accused of some horrible things. As I said to you, my first cousin was killed, and it was suspected to be a Taliban bombing, right? So I don't justify anybody. But if you show me the evidence that they definitely did it, I condemn them. But if you don't have the evidence, I'm not going to hear what people are saying to me in the West about the brown skin in the East, or the brown skin in Africa, that these people are bad because of X, Y, Z, because I know throughout history they've proven themselves that they'll say whatever it takes to get whatever they want. You know, look at Africa, the state of Africa. They tell you there was no civilization in Africa, these were savages. You look at the history, they had immense amount of historical, educational wealth in Africa. But they destroyed it. Why did they destroy it? Why did they go into these lands accusing them of savagery? Because they wanted their resources. They took their resources, they took their people. It's a horrible world we live in at the moment, where the ones who claim the peace are actually the corruptors. And many times, you know, I think it was Chomsky who said that, you know, the real corruptors or the real terrorists or the killers, the media will have you believe that they're the liberators. And the ones that are being savaged, the ones that are being killed, become the bad people, basically. It's the same thing. Look, if we look at the old cowboy and western cowboy movies in America, what do we see? The red Indian, you know, woo, he's shooting arrows at a white man, and the white man is defending himself, you know, because, oh, these savages they want to kill us. What they don't show you is that millions of indigenous Indians were killed, slaughtered. They were getting 10 cents for every scalp. The government were paying 10 cents for every scalp. So people went out and they hunted the indigenous population. Australia, my friend, up to the 50s, abo hunts. Yeah. Men on jeeps with the big spotlights hunting the Aborigine for sport.
It's a long bow to draw.
It happened. I know. I don't blame the people today. I wouldn't blame this brother. Why? He's got nothing to do with what the people did before. You know, I wouldn't. I don't believe that you should blame people's race because some people, possibly their forefathers or possibly even their relatives, or it's got nothing to do with them. You know, this brother might be as against what they did as I would be against it. So in Islam, we don't have this original sin where you share the sin of your father. You're accountable for what you do. They're accountable for what they do. But unfortunately, we have this Eurocentric, rewriting of history, where we, the West, you know, we're the good guys, we're peace lovers, and these were all savages. You know, we had to go and control the savages, and that's not what happened. That's the reality, you know.
I like the idea of where you spoke about Allah will judge you by your intent.
Yeah.
Not so much by actually what happens, the outcome, but
that's right.
Your intent behind it. So I feel encouraged to share my intent as someone that's curious about Islam. Yeah. You know, very, very curious. And as a Westerner.